Hey Ram fans, welcome to another week of the Monday Night Sports Show. I'm Rachel Hallam.
And I'm Jared Stratton. We have a full slate tonight. Mountain West football is back.
And Ethan sat down with Justin Michael for this week's Bird's Eye View.
And the MLB playoffs start this week, so you know we have our picks. Don't go anywhere because CTV Sports starts right now.
Well, Ram fans, it's official. Football is back. Last week, we covered the Mountain West's planned vote on the return of football. And much to the delight of many football lovers, on Friday, the vote was passed and plans were approved for an 8-game season. With the announcement of an amended regular season schedule, Mountain West football will now kick off on October 24th. The Mountain West Football Championship is slated for December 19th. Of course, with the introduction of a conference-only season later this fall, concerns over controlling the spread of COVID-19 are still prominent, but the Mountain West has answers. The conference has partnered with Quest Diagnostics, an American clinical laboratory looking at virus samples in order to gain a better grasp on COVID-19. Now, with this partnership, the Mountain West will implement more testing protocols and quicker test results across the conference's many athletes and staff members. Now, yes, this is great for Mountain West fans. They now have something to cling onto until more sports come back. But, as Director of Athletics Joe Parker stated, at this time, we do not anticipate that we will host fans for the 4 home games inside Canvas Stadium. And while this might be disappointing for freshmen not being able to see their first college football games, seniors unable to watch their last season, and loads of other fans wishing to see the team live on Canvas Field, CSU will continue to evaluate the current no-fan status to see if some students could have their long-awaited return to Canvas Stadium to see Rams football. And hold on just 1 second, because football is not the only sport coming back to the Mountain West in the months to follow. On September 16th, the NCAA Division I Council announced the following sports may start in the coming months. Basketball season may continue November 25th, volleyball season may continue January 22nd, cross country January 30th, and women's soccer February 3rd. Now, though this is not the athletic season anyone expected, student athletes, fans, and alumni have been given such a gift to have any sport of college sports back in their hearts and minds.
Now pivoting from college athletics to professional action, 2 nights ago, Denver Nuggets fans were crushed after their historic playoff run came to an end against the Los Angeles Lakers in anticlimactic, deflating fashion. On Saturday night, the Lakers took down the Nuggets in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, sending the Lakers to their NBA-leading 32nd final appearance. Even though the Nuggets were eliminated from the playoffs, there's a lot of hope for the future. This Denver Nuggets team came back from a 3-1 series record twice in the same year, which has never been done in the NBA, elevating Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic to leading NBA playoffs in almost every single statistical category, which includes points, rebounds, threes made, and minutes played. Not only were the Nuggets lighting up the playoffs, they were also the 3rd youngest team in the bubble, with the most of their superstars just now entering their prime. The true pride of this Nuggets team is that only 2 of its stars were lottery picks, with all others coming from late in the first round, second round, or even undrafted. With the potential of Michael Porter Jr. and Bol coming to the scene, this Nuggets team will be exciting for years to come. Nuggets fans can look forward to a championship window that is just beginning.
Now, while that seems really exciting, feels real good to be a Lakers fan today.
I don't want to talk about it. Lakers fans have always had it great, so I will be happily stay a Nuggets fan.
No, I'm going to stick with what I got. It's going pretty good right now.
No, I'm not even going to give you that.
All right, well, while that might be the end of the Nuggets season, the NFL season is now in full swing. And Week 3 of the 2020 season had no shortage of some crazy plays. This week, Jared and I will be kicking off the NFL season with our picks for Week 3's top 5 plays. And starting at number 5, looking at the unrelenting defensive play by Dallas Cowboys rookie cornerback Trayvon Diggs. Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf had a clear touchdown, but forgot his opponent was right behind him and let up on this run into the end zone, giving Trayvon Diggs an chance to use that last bit of energy to punch the ball out of Metcalf's hands just before the end zone, resulting in a touchback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Now switching from defense to offense, Kyler Murray takes the 4th top play by embarrassing the Lions defense on the goal line. Now this play right here, Kyler Murray goes running in, skates out of the way from Jeff Okudah, a top pick from this year's draft, acting like he knows exactly what he's doing, looking like Michael Vick out there, just skating around him, making him look ridiculous. Jeff Okudah couldn't even touch him.
And at number 3, Kyle Rudolph. Minnesota Vikings tight end defied gravity and physics yesterday against the Tennessee Titans with this absurd one-handed catch. And honestly, I have no idea how he managed to somehow just barely tap that right foot in bounds on his way out, but he did. It's incredible, and he was able to put up 6 for his team.
Now for number 2, we head all the way down to Louisiana, where Alvin Kamara made the screenplay of the year. Now Alvin Kamara over here, he's going to get a screenplay. It's actually an improvised screen. Technically it wasn't called a screenplay. But the best play I'm seeing right here is look at that offensive lineman making the play for him. Taysom Hill also making a tremendous block. Alvin Kamara able to get around it, and he jumps in the end zone, gets a nice snow angel as well. Now with this right here, I'm going to give a slow motion because I want to give a little more credit to the blockers here. Alvin Kamara was balling out. He got out of two defensive plays, but that offensive lineman lays one out. You have another guy right there, Taysom Hill, getting another great block. Now that is great team effort right there. That is why the Saints were really close in that game. They just couldn't keep it together.
And last but certainly not least, all the way up at number 1 for Week 3's top plays in the NFL is none other than Ram legend Michael Gallup. And right back to this topic of an absurd catch. I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be getting this in the first place. Dak Prescott made kind of an iffy throw, and he just kind of lucked out because the defender had the ball bounce right off of him, not once, but twice, just to land perfectly in the hands of Michael Gallup, getting him a first down for his team and more. Well, I just want to go right back to the Alvin Kamara footage because he got through not 1, not 2, but 6 defenders in that one play. I mean, did the Packers just forget how to tackle?
I don't know what they were doing. They thought it was a good idea to arm tackle Alvin Kamara, and if you know anything about him, you don't do that. You have to wrap him up hard and get him down. And then not only that, like I was saying earlier, that the whole offense was rallying around him. Everyone is sprinting up to block for him. They're all rallying around Alvin Kamara because they have Michael Thomas out, and they need someone to lead that team.
Absolutely, and Alvin Kamara is definitely one of the players to do so. Well, Rams, we are going to have to wrap this up, but make sure to stick around because Ethan Bird is up next with Bird's Eye View.
I hate the Lakers.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
when you want to talk, I'm here.
You know, it's funny seeing you up there, Rams. Welcome to another week of Bird's Eye View. I am Ethan Bird. Why don't y'all just come on down here and join me for a second? Now, this week I wanted to dive into something that means a lot, not only to me, but also my fellow colleagues at Rocky Mountain Student Media, the importance of student and local journalism. Now, more than ever in the era of fake news and social media propaganda, the source of where you get your news is critical. Now, there's a reason I do sports and not news. Our friends at CTV News and the Collegian have you covered there. But I think that in a world of ESPN and East/West Coast bias, local sports journalism is your window into what is really happening with your favorite teams. This week, I caught up with someone who has really helped me find my way in this journalism world, former Collegian sports reporter and current DNVR Rams beat writer, Justin Michael. I think the importance of having local journalists is, especially in terms of the college community.
You know, I just think nobody knows these communities better than the local reporters, and you know, I consider myself to be in that group, but there's a pretty great group of local reporters that cover CSU, you know, starting with the student media here at CSU. You got CTV, the Collegian, KCSU, really awesome opportunities for students. They do a great job. They get to travel. You know, that's a big deal in its own right. So many schools can't say that. Shout out to Rocky Mountain Student Media. But, you know, the Coloradoan, Loveland Reporter Herald, they have a huge presence. The Denver Post, you know, dabbles in Colorado State coverage. I wouldn't really say they're super consistent, but, you know, they do cover the Rams. And, you know, then there's sites like us at DNVR, which are independent, and we're all digital. You know, we're a little bit different than, you know, the traditional newspaper. But, you know, we're doing our best to just bring people the truth. You know, I think my style of coverage is a little bit different than the traditional beat reporter, especially, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s even. Things have changed slightly. But it's just so paramount to have these local reporters. One, you know, to highlight all the great things that are happening, but two, you know, to check the powers that be, to make sure that these schools are doing the right things, because, you know, as we've seen, that is not always the case.
And the biggest difference really is who is closer to what is really happening. I mean, student journalist and student athlete are just a noun away from one another. And that is intimate reporting that you can never really find on a national level. And Justin proved that when he was one of the first to break the Larry Eustace abuse story. What are the parallels between the Larry Eustace situation and what's happening right now?
Well, you know, we don't have all the details from the investigation yet, so I don't want to necessarily speak ignorantly, at least from the football side, but I think there are definitely some comparisons there in terms of both our alleged, at least, examples of the university kind of prioritizing their financial obligations, the people that they were paying a lot of money, over, you know, the best interest of the student athletes. And that's pretty common throughout college athletics, unfortunately, but it's definitely not what you want to see, especially, you know, from a university that prioritizes so much itself on community. You know, so much of the branding at CSU is, you know, we, proud to be, all of these things. Well, it's tough to be proud to be, you know, when your program's constantly getting in scandals. You know, there's some hope, obviously, with this new staff that things are going to turn around. But at the end of the day, I think CSU athletics over, you know, the last 6 to 7 years, they've definitely demonstrated a trend in behaviors that would probably be disappointing to most CSU alumni.
Now, like I said last week, and hopefully for the final time this week, the current investigation into CSU athletics is a developing story that, frankly, has yet to really develop a whole lot. But I can promise you that the team of local journalists that we have at Rocky Mountain Student Media will have you covered as soon as this info drops. I mean, who knows? Maybe we can find someone in the hot seat with me. But I also want to hear from all of you. This is not just my segment, it's ours. If there's an issue or activity here at CSU or in sports in general that you want to hear about, let me know on Twitter at Ethan_Bird_. My DMs are always open. And that is all the time that I have for tonight. Rachel and Jared have their Pick'em Challenge coming up next. Good night, Rams. I'm Ethan Bird.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so one more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Welcome back from the break, Rams, into another week of our playoff pick'em. We're going to jump right into it. The NBA Finals are set to begin on Wednesday. Who do you have winning it all, Jared?
First of all, I'm going to gloat for a second because I did pick the Lakers and the Heat to go to the finals. But beyond that, oh, man, I am excited to see this Heat team torch the Lakers. And I'm going to try to keep my Heat puns to a minimum. But they are heating up right now. They are on fire. Okay, I just did too much already. But either way, Bam Adebayo is leading this team right now. And that's saying a lot because everyone's saying Jimmy Buckets was going to lead it. Tyler Hero was going to lead it. But Bam Adebayo is here. And I have a great clip also of him playing amazing in here. I'm going to see if we can play it right now real quick. He did an amazing job. Can't get it up? All right, I don't think we can get it up. But it was when he blocked Jason Tatum on that last play. His wrist was made out of iron. It did not move at all. When he hit the ball, bam, didn't move at all. Nothing. He is a wall right there in the heart of Miami. And honestly, I don't see the Lakers winning more than 2 games.
Wow, okay. I already thought your first pick was a little out there, but only 2 games, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really? All right. Well, I have to stick with what I was saying earlier in the show already. I'm going with the Lakers, and that is an easy choice for me. Yes, they're my team, but I think that they can do it. You bring up Bam Adebayo. Yes, he's a fantastic player, and he has been helping the Heat a ton when it comes to the playoffs this season. But the last time they played the Lakers, they played them twice this season, and they've lost both games. Bam Adebayo was held to 11 points last game they played each other. You had Miami was only shooting 35% from the field and 17% behind the arc in the first time they played them. And LeBron went off with 25 points and AD went off with 26 points. If you have 2 players that are going off like that, and you can't contain them throughout the game, your defense isn't looking too hot.
Okay, well, I do appreciate the Heat pun there as well. But beyond that, let's talk about how well Bam Adebayo has increased in this playoffs. He has done amazing. He has increased his steals, increased his blocks, increased his field goal percentage, increased his field goals. And in the end, he is killing it defensively. Now, if we can name any other power forward that's better in the NBA playoffs, or at least when it started, than Anthony Davis, it was Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he shut Giannis down. Now, he's going to have to play against Anthony Davis. And honestly, if you watch those Lakers versus Nuggets game, LeBron wasn't doing much until the last game. He got a lot of fouls. I'm going to give him that after he complained. But beyond that, Anthony Davis is the heart of that team right now. And if Bam Adebayo can stop him, you have Jimmy Butler who can drain a 3. You have Tyler Hero who can drain a 3. Those guys are lighting it up. And then also you have Derrick Jones Jr. just to throw it down just for the fun of it. Because he won the dunk contest, kind of a little rigged, but he won the dunk contest and he was killing it. So honestly, I'm thinking the Heat are going to kill it this game, next game, and all 6 games they're going to play.
Okay. Well, I definitely agree with you. AD has definitely become the star of this team. I totally agree with that. He had 33 points the last time they played him, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 1 assist. That is just already incredible. He was definitely going off for the Lakers. He always has, and he has been this whole time, like I say. But also, I want to go back to their first time they played each other because the Lakers held this team to only 80 points. 80 points. You talk about how Jimmy Butler can get those threes. All these other players can get these threes. Well, if they're containing only one guy, Adebayo or Jimmy, where are all these guys? Why aren't they stepping up? They only got 80 points in that first game. The Lakers' defense is already there, and I will definitely agree with you. If Adebayo can contain AD throughout these games, it's going to make a huge difference. But they also have Green, they have Caldwell Pope, they have Kuzma, they have all these other players on their bench that are getting points off the bench, and that makes so much of a difference. And I just see the Lakers getting it in 6.
All right, well, I firmly disagree with that. I'm just going to lay it out there right now because also when you look back in the regular season, that is a long time ago at this point, very long time ago.
Yeah.
And the Heat have been killing it beyond just Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo. When Robinson's stepping up, what was he? He's a D3 athlete, I believe, or D2 athlete who's killing it lately. Yeah. Also on fire. I need to stop saying on fire, but honestly, I don't see them winning more than 6 games. But we're going to keep on. I want to keep on going with this. I want to move on to the next one we got going up here. We have the Stanley Cup Finals. It is entering Game 6 right now. Who do you have taking it all?
All right. Well, the past couple of weeks, I have stuck with the same team, and I'm going to continue to do that. I said it before, and I will say it again. The Stars are going to win this. I know that right now they're losing this series 3-2, and I know it doesn't look so hot for them right now, but coming off of such an intense intense Game 5, winning it in double overtime, I think they have so much motivation and strength behind them right now that they're at least going to win this next game and get them to a Game 7. And I think that if they continue down that path and they actually get themselves to a Game 7, I think they could win it all. And I think the reason that they could do that is because of their, oh my gosh, their insane goalie in the back of the net. They have Anton Hudobin, and I don't know if we can see this right now, but the last game he had an incredible 39 saves in double overtime. And he had the save of all saves in double overtime, 2-2, tied up, and it was just an incredible last-second save, barely hits his pads, and it was just, it's amazing. I think that if the Lightning, yeah, they have some amazing star forwards right now, and they're killing it on the ice, but I think if Hudobin stays strong like he has in the past, the Stars have a chance to advance here.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I disagree again. Tampa Bay Lightning are already 3-2, so statistically, just by that itself, they have a higher chance of winning it all. But beyond that, it took them 2 overtimes to win last game. I think that could be considered positive, but it's also a huge negative that they took them that long to be able to seal out that game. Of course, it is a win in general, right? But I don't see them keeping up that same offensive firepower. With the Tampa Bay Lightning, they have a great offensive team. They're really good at keeping the puck the whole time, and with that, they can shoot as much time as they want on the goalie, and I know he'll do some great saves, but if you keep on shooting, you're eventually going to get something on him. And that's why I think with the possession time, and also they had 13 goals in their last 33 victories. 2 of them were 5 each. So I believe that's insane offense. It's going to be hard to keep up with. And also, Dallas Stars, you're not the Denver Nuggets. You're not going to come back 3-1. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It just isn't. So
hey, they're slowly making their way down there. It's going to take some time, but I think they can do it. And I like what you say about it possibly being a negative. I could definitely see that going into double overtime. But couldn't that relate to both sides of the ice, both teams?
Well, you don't have as much to lose if you're down 3. If you're up 3-1. So in the end, I believe that Tampa Bay Bucks. Oh my goodness, Tampa Bay Lightning are going to win this game and win the whole series.
Got a lot of NFL on your mind there.
Oh yes.
All right. Well, the MLB playoffs begin this week, and one of the most intriguing series is the Padres versus the Cardinals. Will the Padres stay hot this week?
Yes. Honestly, I don't even want to look at the Cardinals here. The Padres are killing it. Okay, they're 3rd in the league with RBI. They're 4th with home runs. They're 4th with on-base percentage, which I think is better than home runs. And they also have 3rd with slugging percentage. They are hitting out of their minds. And then also, we see that with the Rockies every year, that they're good at hitting team, but that doesn't equate to wins, doesn't equate to playoff wins. But they also increased their pitching staff. They got better after the trade deadline. And I don't see them losing at all, really, in this Cardinals series.
I think this is the only one we're going to agree on.
Oh, sweet.
Which is kind of surprising.
Awesome, let's go.
I was kind of hoping we could go back and forth the whole time, but I'm glad we have something to agree on. I definitely agree. Like I said already, I'm going to be picking the Padres in this series as well. This is not new to them. They have been bounced out of the playoffs by St. Louis 3 times already. They have a little bit of a grudge. They're coming in wanting this so bad. So I would not be surprised if they came in hot the whole time and took it away. It's also really crazy to think because this is their most successful season as a franchise in their franchise history. I mean, they finished the season 37-23. This is the best they've ever done, and it's the 2nd best mark in the MLB right now. The other thing is they haven't been to the playoffs in 13 seasons. They want this. They're hungry. I think they're going to come for it.
They're so ready. Slam Diego is here. It's here. And now we have an NFL game going on right now. This one is not technically a playoff game, but it's a potential matchup we could see coming January. The Chiefs and Ravens are facing off right now on Monday Night Football. Now, we do not know the score, ironically enough, so we're going to get our predictions down there, and then we're going to see who's right or who's wrong once we see the score. Rachel, who do you have?
This one was tough for me because I like a lot of the players on both these teams, and I could see it going either way, in all honesty. The last time they played each other, it went either way. Like, it was up in the air the whole time. And as an AFC West fan, I don't really want to pick the Chiefs, but I personally believe that they're going to take this one. Super Bowl 50 champs. They're coming back. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because seeing them play against the Chargers last week, it was really hard to get a feel of how they were going to do this season because Patrick Mahomes was getting a lot of pressure in the back, and he allowed his offensive line allowed for the Chargers defense to get to him way too many times. But the Ravens also did that last week, and Lamar was pressured constantly, and he was having to run all the time. I think for this, it's going to be a heavy ground game, and I think that's kind of hard to say because both Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson have crazy arm strength, and they could get it down the field anywhere possible. But like I said, it comes back to the offensive line, and I think that if the Chiefs have a good offensive line tonight, they could definitely take this one.
Yeah, so when we talk about offensive line, you got to remember that they're going up against an amazing Ravens defensive line. That's why I got the Ravens coming in here. The Ravens are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it and shock the whole NFL world because everyone thinks the Chiefs are going to win. But the Ravens also have a much better defense, right? They don't have as good as offense, I believe, as the Kansas City Chiefs because they don't have Tyreek Hill, but they have Marquise Goodwin. Either way, the Ravens have an amazing offense. The Chiefs don't have a good rushing defense, and that is huge, especially for the Ravens. Now, we should get the game up in a second if we can figure out what the score is. But I do believe that the Ravens are going to run away with this game. They're going to have as much rushing yards as possible. Now, what was the score?
Well, currently, the Chiefs are winning 20-10, and it is the second quarter. They hit the 2-minute mark going into the half. So we'll see. I mean, second half
there goes my pick.
Second half is definitely going to make a difference, so you never know. Chiefs could let up. We'll see. I think that they can get this one, though. So.
All right. Well, that is all the picks we have for tonight. So to stay updated on all things CSU sports, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at sports_CTV. I'm Jared Stratton.
And I'm Rachel Hallam. Tune in tomorrow night for another week of fantasy football breakdowns with Hunter Fillmore. See you next week, Rams. I said Super Bowl
50? Yeah. For what?